My name is Emily, 30 years old, and for 3 years, I was bound in marriage to Luke, a man 5 years older than me. As I sit to untangle the chaos of my life, my chest tightens with the struggle of where to begin. This isn't a tale of romance tied up with a pretty bow. It's a raw, unvarnished account of the decisions I made and the devastation I left in my wake. Luke was the sort of husband women long for, dependable, compassionate, and endlessly thoughtful. He poured his soul into his modest business, but never let it eclipse our connection. No matter how grueling his days, he always found time for me. He knew precisely how I liked my coffee. He stayed up late repairing things I hadn't even realized were broken. His love was steady, quiet, a constant warmth that wrapped around me. At first, I treasured his devotion. It made me feel secure, deeply valued. But slowly, something within me began to stir, so faintly I hardly noticed it at first. It began during casual conversations with friends, their voices brimming with stories of husbands who seemed more daring, more captivating, more everything. They shared tales of thrilling weekend escapades or spontaneous romantic gestures, and I'd nod, smiling but inwardly comparing Luke to them. Social media only intensified the disquiet. Every scroll revealed couples living vibrant, flawless lives, their happiness polished for all to admire. Doubts crept into my thoughts, soft at first, easy to dismiss, but they grew louder, more persistent. I berated myself for being ungrateful. Love wasn't about flash or extravagance. Yet a restless unease brewed inside me, like a storm building strength just beyond the horizon. I began to wonder if I truly cherished the life we'd created, or if I was chasing some impossible fantasy. Then came the evening that broke everything apart. It was supposed to be a light-hearted night out with friends, laughter, music, and a few drinks to unwind. But the drinks flowed freely, and I didn't stop them. One glass blurred into the next until I was adrift in a fog of alcohol and a strange, simmering resentment I couldn't pinpoint. When I stumbled home, barely able to stand, Luke was there, as always, waiting to make sure I was safe. But instead of gratitude, something dark churned within me. I looked at him, and words I never intended to speak poured out, sharp and vicious. "I don't even find you attractive anymore." They sliced through the air like a knife, unprovoked and cruel. The pain in his eyes was instant, a raw wound I couldn't take back. The next morning, my head pounded, and my stomach twisted with dread. The night was a hazy blur until I saw Luke sitting on the edge of our bed, staring at the floor in silence. That image is burned into my memory. "Is that really how you feel?" he asked, his voice a faint murmur, echoing the venom I'd unleashed in my drunken haze. My heart plummeted. I scrambled to undo the damage, stumbling over excuses. "I was drunk, Luke. I didn't mean it, I promise." But he didn't yell or argue. He gave a faint, hollow nod, stood and walked out of the room. That quiet departure hurt more than any argument could have. From that moment, everything shifted. He didn't confront me or hurl my words back in my face. Instead, he retreated. The small acts of love, the ones I hadn't realized I'd grown to depend on, vanished. No more sweet messages during the day, no more shared laughter over dinner. Just a heavy, suffocating silence. I tried to mend things. I cooked his favorite meals, though I was never much of a cook. I tucked heartfelt notes into his bag, hoping to rekindle memories of our early days. One night, I reached for him in bed, desperate to close the distance with intimacy. But he gently pulled away, his eyes heavy with weariness and sorrow. "Not tonight, Emily," he said softly. "Maybe another time." The void I'd created was unbearable, so I ran from it. One Friday, overwhelmed by guilt and the oppressive stillness of our home, I told myself I needed a night out to clear my head. But that was a lie. I was fleeing from him, from what I'd done. At a bar, a man sat beside me, radiating confidence and charm that felt new, unfamiliar. He flashed a smile and said, "Rough night, huh?" I should have walked away, but I didn't. I let his attention ease the pain I'd inflicted on myself. For a brief moment, it felt good to be noticed, desired. Then I let him kiss me. The moment it happened, nausea flooded me, not passion, but a crushing wave of guilt and regret. That's when I saw Luke parked across the street, watching from his car. No shouting, no scene. He simply rolled up the window and drove away. The next morning, I clung to a fragile hope that we could salvage things, that he'd give me another chance. I found him in the kitchen, calm but resolute. "You showed me last night what I mean to you," he said. "What our marriage means." I collapsed, sobbing, pleading, insisting it was a mistake, meaningless, that I didn't even understand why I'd done it. But he just shook his head. "I need time," he said quietly, "to figure out what's left." He packed a bag and left. He never came back. 6 months have passed. Luke has moved on, finding joy with someone new. A woman who glows with happiness and brings out a smile in him I hadn't seen in years. He looks genuinely content. And I'm still here, alone, surrounded by the wreckage of my choices. Most of my friends have drifted away, unsure how to stand by me. Even my mother, when I poured out my heart, could only sigh and say, "You had a man most would dream of, and you let him go." She was right. There's no fairy tale ending here, no grand redemption. Just the heavy burden of regret I carry every day. If my story holds any lesson, it's this: hold tight to what truly matters. Because once it's gone, no amount of remorse can bring it back.